Football is a feeling sport. Nothing gets hotter, takes flying than someone saying, "That guy was overrated." Suddenly, your uncle who hasn't read a stat sheet since dial-up internet is breaking down passer ratings, and your buddy is citing one highlight like it's the Dead Sea Scrolls. But let's be real. Overrated doesn't mean bad. It just means the legend sometimes outgrew the box score, and in the NFL, that happens a lot. So buckle your chin strap, grab a calming beverage, and prepare yourself. Here are 10 NFL legends whose myths got just a touch bigger than their resumes. Number 10. Tim Tebow. Few names spark stronger reactions than Timothy Richard Tebow. To his believers, he was the ultimate underdog, a man who willed his team to victory with prayer circles and sheer determination. To his skeptics, he was a quarterback who threw like he was lobbing a medicine ball. And then came the moment. It was the 2011 wild card round against the Steelers. First play of overtime, Tebow hits Demaryius Thomas on a slant, and Thomas bolts 80 yards to the end zone. Mile High shook, announcers lost their minds, and the stat sheet showed Tebow threw for, you guessed it, 316 yards. The legend was born, but like Cinderella, the clock struck midnight almost immediately. Defensive coordinators figured out Denver's option looks, his accuracy never improved, and soon the headlines shifted to minor league baseball tryouts. If you're drafting for vibes, Tebow is a Hall of Famer. If you're drafting for wins, he's a trivia question. Number 9, Bo Jackson. Bo wasn't just an athlete, he was the athlete. He ran like a gazelle, trucked linebackers like bowling pins, and simultaneously moonlighted as a Kansas City Royale. Nike commercials told us, "Bo knows," and we believed it. On any given Sunday, he looked untouchable. That 91-yard touchdown run against the Seahawks is still played in NFL highlight packages today. The problem? The NFL portion of his career lasted only 4 seasons. When the hip injury hit, his football dream was gone, leaving behind just 2,782 rushing yards. Bo's highlights are immortal, like sports comic book panels etched into memory, but if you evaluate the full career, it's like judging a movie by its trailer. The hype is justified. The sustained production never had a chance to arrive. Number 8. Reggie Bush. If you watched Reggie Bush at USC, you could have sworn physics bent around him. He was the human joystick, turning defenders into blooper reel fodder every Saturday. Naturally, fans assumed he'd terrorize NFL defenses in the same way, and to be fair, Bush had a respectable career. He rushed for 5,490 yards, returned punts, caught passes, and even helped the Saints win a Super Bowl, but he was never the transcendent every-down back people expected. His pro career was full of bursts, not dynasties. In 2024, Bush had his Heisman Trophy reinstated, a long-overdue college redemption arc, but it doesn't erase the truth that in the NFL, he was good, not revolutionary. If USC Bush was cheat code mode, NFL Bush was more like solid fantasy flex option. Number 7, Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. rookie catch against the Cowboys in 2014 wasn't just a highlight, it was a cultural moment. Everyone from middle schoolers to grandmas was trying one-handed grabs in the backyard. Overnight, Beckham became a megastar. Early in his Giants career, he backed up the flash with production, then came injuries, team drama, and relocations. By the time he scored a touchdown for the Rams in Super Bowl 56, he felt like a comeback story rather than a constant. His stints in Baltimore and Miami added little more than social media sizzle. Beckham's brand stayed enormous, his haircut trends spread like wildfire, and he'll always be remembered as the one-handed guy. But his actual career totals fall short of the legend. Fame to production ratio? Off the charts. Number 6, Michael Vick. Michael Vick didn't just play quarterback, he redefined the position. When he was healthy and locked in, defenses had nightmares. Linebackers got stuck spying him, safeties cheated up, coordinators tore up clipboards. He was a human cheat code. His passing stats never lived up to his athletic aura. His career passer rating sits around 80. He threw 133 touchdowns and 88 interceptions. Yes, his rushing yards, 6,109, are absurd, but consistency as a passer was always missing. He did have a beautiful resurgence in 2010 with the Eagles, winning Comeback Player of the Year. But his legend, the idea of unstoppable Vic, is remembered more fondly than the box scores. Revolutionary, yes. Consistently elite, no. Number 5, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was the prototype of arm talent. Scouts drooled, GMs dreamed, and fans waited for him to transform the Bears into contenders. and every once in a while he delivered throws that made you gasp. But too often, he followed it up with an interception and a sideline shrug that became internet folklore. His final stats: 35,133 passing yards, 227 touchdowns, prove longevity. What they don't prove is greatness. Cutler's career is best described as a roller coaster. Thrilling drops, a few loops, but mostly a long, bumpy ride that never quite ended at the championship station. Number 4, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is proof that being really good at your job and being overrated are not mutually exclusive. His stats are sparkling, his efficiency admirable, and his agent deserves the Nobel Prize in negotiation. But the playoffs? Not so pretty. Cousins owns a 1-4 postseason record, and the deeper January games always seem to elude him. His shiny new contract with Atlanta in 2024 once again made him a franchise savior on paper and before the season even kicked off. Cousins is the NFL's stock market: steady growth, reliable returns, but never quite the breakout bull run fans dream of. Number 3, Dak Prescott. Nobody divides opinion like Dak Prescott. On one hand, he's efficient, dynamic, and plays under more pressure than any other quarterback, thanks to the star on his helmet. On the other, he's 2-5 in the playoffs. Prescott isn't bad. In fact, he's good. Sometimes great. But the Cowboys are measured by championships, and Dak hasn't delivered one. The weight of a $240 million contract makes every interception feel like a national tragedy. Until he leads Dallas on a deep playoff run, the elite tag will always feel just a bit inflated. Number 2, Tony Romo. Tony Romo was the ultimate improviser, throwing dimes under duress, creating magic from chaos, and later becoming a beloved broadcaster. For years, Cowboys fans swore if only the ball bounced differently, Romo would be legendary. The reality? He went 2-4 in the playoffs. Fair or unfair, that's the legacy checkmark missing from his resume. Romo's talent was undeniable, his highlights dazzling, but Dallas demanded trophies, not near misses. In another era, Romo might be remembered as a gunslinger artist. Instead, he's the quarterback equivalent of a cult classic movie, adored by those who saw the brilliance, overlooked in the big picture. Number 1, Joe Namath. Joe Namath isn't just a quarterback, he's a cultural icon. The fur coats, the interviews, the "I guarantee it" before Super Bowl III, all of it built the NFL's first rock star. But his numbers? Rough. Namath threw 173 touchdowns against 220 interceptions, completed just over 50% of his passes, and finished with a passer rating under 66. Context matters. He played in a brutal era for QBs, but the gap between his myth and his metrics is wider than any fur collar he ever wore. Namath changed football's image forever, and he'll always be a legend. But if we're talking strictly performance, the legend is brighter than the stat line. All right, folks, that's our list of the 10 most overrated NFL players of all time. And if you had fun getting triggered today, do me a favor, smash that like and hit subscribe. Trust me, it's going to get even hotter. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your takes bold and your Sundays sacred. See you in the next one.